She walked into the Tribeca Festival beaming, radiant, victorious, like she had just taken down her greatest enemy in court. But here's the twist: Blake Lively didn't win the war, she dodged a bullet. And the truth behind her so-called victory, it's way messier than what her PR machine wants you to believe. Blake Lively arrived Monday night at the Tribeca Festival's artist dinner, glowing with confidence, grinning from ear to ear, as if she'd triumphed over her legal adversary Justin Baldoni. But that's not what happened, not even close. What the judge ruled wasn't a win on the merits of the case, but a narrow legal protection. Blake can't be sued for statements made in her complaint to the California Civil Rights Department, because those statements are privileged, not because they were deemed true. And yet Lively's behavior suggests she believes she's been exonerated of portrayal. That's at best premature and at worst deeply misleading. She took to Instagram, citing the 19 organizations that filed amicus briefs supporting her right to speak out, saying, "Like so many others, I've felt the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit. While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back." But let's be honest, Blake Lively isn't exactly a struggling single mom scraping together legal fees. Her husband Ryan Reynolds raked in hundreds of millions from the sale of his liquor company. She's not some underdog, she's a Hollywood elite trying to weaponize the language of victimhood. Even more troubling is the contradiction between her words and the facts. She alleged she was made to film a birth scene barely covered with a friend of Justin's cast to ogle her body, but that actor, a classically trained professional, came forward to call her out. He says she was fully clothed in biker shorts and strongly rejected her implication. He called the allegation a flat-out lie, yet here she is speaking of dignity and safety. Behind the scenes, People magazine reports she's been crying with relief. Her legal team celebrating, saying she feels vindicated, but that celebration, it may be short-lived, because now the roles have reversed. Justin Baldoni is the defendant, and Blake Lively is officially the plaintiff. And what's ahead is a courtroom showdown. No more headlines, no more press spin. Just her under oath, cross-examined by the famously relentless Brian Friedman. And yes, it's going to be brutal. This is shaping into a classic he said she said trial, and I believe she's about to get heard it in court. She's already dropped her emotional distress claims once Baldoni's legal team requested access to her psychiatric records, a perfectly fair move considering she was asking for damages related to mental health. But instead of handing over the records, she tried to back out, quietly asked to drop those claims without prejudice. The judge said no. Drop them entirely or hand over the files. She dropped them, exposing the weakness in her case. Both sides have suffered strategic losses. His was bigger, yes, but hers cuts deep. If a settlement happens, it'll require PR-friendly terms, maybe donations to charity, instead of damages. But from what we can tell, neither side is backing down. Blake's credibility is now on the line. Friedman reportedly wants both Blake and Ryan Reynolds under oath, and he's coming prepared with evidence to paint her as a manipulator and Ryan as her misled partner. But here's the core of it all: Blake Lively has already lost where it matters most: public trust. This entire case, I believe, was rooted in PR. It came after the disastrous rollout of It Ends With Us, a movie about domestic abuse that she promoted with grins, jokes, and plugs for her brand. The optics were all wrong, laughing, light-hearted, detached from the gravity of the film's subject. The backlash hit hard. She unfollowed Baldoni on social media just before the premiere, banished him to a literal basement at the launch event, then filed a civil complaint that magically ended up in the New York Times. To me, this wasn't justice, it was a calculated move to rehabilitate her image. She styled herself as the heroine, referencing a Game of Thrones-like rise, calling herself Khaleesi with Ryan and Taylor Swift her dragons. But Baldoni didn't flinch, he fought back hard. And now she's left with a narrative collapsing under scrutiny. Her Hollywood image has taken a hit she might not recover from. She's no longer seen as reliable, just another actor whose personal ambition got tangled in a story too big to control. And make no mistake, Hollywood doesn't suffer unreliability for long. Beauty is easy to find, consistency is what sells. Her chances of landing another blockbuster fading fast. She wanted to be a symbol, a survivor, a warrior. But what's left now is a shaky story, an open trial, and a star who may have just written her own Hollywood ending, and not the kind she was hoping for.